Absolutely, you're right. There are two sides to this story, and the British side is basically the exact same as the French, just replace the word French fishermen with British fishermen. The British fishermen, of course, rely on scallop fishing, much like the French do. It's a $150 million industry in the UK. It supports 1,300 jobs. And they say for a very long time, they have been subject to overfishing by other European nations, including France. So why aren't they allowed to fish here? Why is there such a big kerfuffle? They say they are the true victims in all of this. But instead of hearing it from me, let's hear from the owner of one of those boats that was actually damaged in that skirmish, Derek Meredith, who's the owner of the Golden Promise.
They've stowed one of the galley windows in, which has breached the watertight integrity of the boat. If it had been windy, that could have caused, well, it could have sunk. So, yeah, it's not good. The French Navy should have intervened. They should have pushed them all away. I still don't know what to do this week. Do we go back? Do we not go back? We're allowed there. I don't know.
We heard from, that's Derek Meredith there, the owner of the Golden Promise. Now, there are fishing regulations, of course, that are in place. Some of them are state agreements between France and the UK, Scotland, Ireland. However, there's also, of course, European law when it comes to the shared zone in which they're allowed to fish. Now, there is some consternation about what's going to happen because of Brexit and also the wider involvement of the EU Commission. We've heard from the EU Commission saying, well, we hope everything's amicable and it's resolved, but we're not getting involved.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is something that, you know, started with 40 boats or so and now has escalated to the point where the British Prime Minister has spoken out from Nigeria, where she's on a visit. Let's have a listen to what she had to say.
I think it's important that we see an amicable solution to what has happened in the Channel, what we've seen between these ships. I think that's what we want. I think it's what France wants, and we'll be working on that.
Well, that was Theresa May speaking there. What's been the EU response on all of this, Sarah?
Well, exactly. Much like Theresa May's amicable conclusion, one that they hope for, but the EU Commission won't get involved. We've heard also from the UK Environmental Secretary saying that British boats were legally fishing, emphasising that point, that their heart goes out to these British fishermen who rely on this source of income. However, as I said, you know, Brexit is overshadowing all of this in terms of what's going to happen, and I think that uncertainty really does play a part here, where fishermen on both sides don't know what's going to happen once the UK leaves the European Union, and if it ever leaves the European Union, of course. And of course there is a fishing window here for French fishermen, a much open one for British fishermen as well. So we don't know what's going to happen perhaps next winter when the French are actually out and able then to fish for scallops, much like the British are doing right now.